You don't have to edit a bunch of things.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. We can do that.
Cool. So, which one do you want to talk about first?
We'll go for the state of MMA. I mean, that's quite an interesting topic.
Yeah. So, the state of MMA is, so when I was fighting, by no means did we do it right, but we did it, and we looked, I was the first generation. I was like, basically the beta test of my gym. And what we did was we fought everybody. We fought the toughest guys we could, and we wouldn't turn fights down, which was stupid from a career standpoint. But we fought the best guys. We looked at like wrestling, because my first MMA coach was my wrestling coach, also my manager, and we didn't know what the fuck we were doing. So we fought the best guys anytime we could, any weight. No, I fight at 205. And I ended my career at 170. So I obviously was in the wrong weight class, but we would fight anybody and everybody, and we didn't give a shit. Part of it because I did it for a living, so I needed to pay my bills too. But that was the state of MMA. And then, he moved. I had a new manager. I started fighting, with Shark Sports Management, and we were smarter about it. I still take fights that I probably shouldn't have taken, but it was much better. And the thing is, but we fought, me and Adam Dehart were my training partners. We fought like 17 times, the two of us, in 12 months. Like we fought, he fought twice in 6 days, actually. He fought, because you're not allowed to fight in the same week. He fought so fast of a turnaround, it didn't even show up on his record yet. So, that's what we did. And I would say the quality of the athletes is significantly higher now at the top level. The problem is you can't get anybody to the top level because nobody wants to fucking fight, And like you were saying earlier, hey, come train for free, yada, yada, yada. Well, as long as you fight for us. My old manager has an MMA promotion, or correction, he was starting one or is starting one. People don't want to fight. They don't want to show up. They want to know, and you started seeing it some when I was fighting still, like they want to know what color fucking underwear you wore on Tuesday. They want all these. Just fucking fight or don't fight, and that's kind of the state of MMA right now. And the thing about go ahead.
I was gonna say something. Max Holloway said something recently. Obviously, Max Holloway is a top level fighter, and he said something. I don't know if you saw it. He said about he doesn't like how MMA is now, like how people go, oh, I'm not exactly this 0.001 kilogram, the same as you, so we can't fight. And he's saying he doesn't care. Like you should fight people at heavyweight, fight people at lightweight. It doesn't matter. It's a fight, right? You're fighting. Like gladiator times, nobody went, oh wait, let me just step on the scale and make sure we're the exact same weight. Like people would take the fight because it's a fight, right? That's the point. But then people now are so, oh, we've got to be exactly the same weight. We've got to wear the exact same gloves, which does make sense, but
yeah, because it is a sport too. But real, it's a fight. It's a combat sport. Combat's the first word for a reason. It's like martial arts. Martial's the first reason, And not to get off on a crazy tangent about it, but like all these traditional martial arts guys, they can eat my whole fucking dick because they're like, oh, you're a disgrace. I'm like, listen, I don't. I have a gym and we try and straighten kids out the best we can, but I'm not here to fucking raise your kid. I'm here to teach them how to fucking fight. Right now, we're going to say, but here's the thing. No, there is some moral code. I'm like, hey, if you get caught fighting outside of this gym, we beat the fuck out of you and you're not welcome back. Right. Or we beat the fuck out of you. You're on a shit list until you get your head squared away. We've done it before. It's better now than it used to be. Like we would straight beat your ass. Like grown ass fucking men would fight you because you made a mistake, and it wasn't you made a mistake, you did it on purpose. So there's that side of it, but yeah, man, it's a fucking fight. It's a combat sport, So I see the desire for the same gloves. I see a desire for the same weight class and whatnot, but yeah, it's getting, and we started seeing this when I was fighting. People want to say they're MMA fighters, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm an MMA fighter. When have you ever fought? Well, I'm getting ready. No, you fucking train 3 days a week and not even consistent, right? It's something that I think, and it's tough for me and my coaches that work for me, and it's really tough coming from a high athletic level. I wrestled middle school through college. I wrestled in Division I. I fought in Bellator. these are all things that kind of went hand in hand. High level performance, high level performance, high level performance. And the reason it was a high level performance because it was a high level of training, right?
Yeah.
You know, at the Citadel, it took me over a month to score my first offensive points, right? I finally took a guy down a month into it, but that was cool. You know, he beat the shit out of me again that day, but that's what it takes. And the novice doesn't see the 20 years of training these guys have. They're like, oh man, I'm an MMA guy. No, you know, like, when are you publishing this? It'll be after this afternoon.
What would you say? Publishing
When
it.
you go?
Yeah, I can do it today, to be honest. Yeah.
Oh, I don't care, because I don't publish it before about 5 o'clock my time, because there's an ugly, and they can listen to this now. We're kicking a bunch of fucking advanced Muay Thai people out of advanced because they're doing the fucking minimum, and I don't give a shit. It's coming. Like, but the thing is, and it's not us just beating the fuck out of them and kicking them out. I'm going to condition their shit of them. But the first part is going to be, and this is why the state of MMA was where it is, kind of tying it back in. We're going to make them read, like, what are your goals? Like, we're going to have probably a half-hour workshop on what are your goals with Muay Thai? What are your goals with martial arts?
What caused it? What caused this conditioning? Like,
man, I'm looking. I watched the video, and I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Why are you in advanced Muay Thai with your hands down? Why are you in advanced class throwing spinning shit? Why are you getting water breaks in the middle of fucking rounds, right? So these are all things that, and I've been guilty of it with jujitsu, is I don't understand it. I don't really clarify what's expected, right? I expect you to be in a high level room doing high level shit, you know?
so it's back to the blueprints. Yeah.
Yeah. And for many athletes, let me back up. For many martial artists, they weren't athletes before, right? I've never done anything before. It's one of the things we ask you when you join or when you come to join is, are you an athlete? Have you ever trained before? You know, the vast majority of them are no. So it's an expectation that I think I need to do a better job clarifying, and definitely across the martial arts and MMA community, right? Like, hey, you're going to fight another person. I want you to think about this. You're going to train for the next, you know, not counting before, like say today we get a fucking phone call. You're going to fight in 6 weeks from today. You're going to get in a cage with another human who's doing the same fucking thing you are, who's going to try and kill you. Right? So you come into class 2 times a week, it's not going to get you ready for that. You know,
You want everything you can. You want every edge you can. I mean, if you're putting your life at risk there.
Fucking bit of it, you know. I train just as hard, if not harder than a lot of. I know I train for a fucking fact. I train harder than a lot of MMA guys, like up and coming, right? And I know for a fact I train as hard or just as hard as a lot of the top level jiu-jitsu guys. I don't have as big of a room, you know, and I got a rib injury, but we train 5 days a week. And my 2 off days are fucking recovery days. We're actually doing something to recover, not laying on the couch playing Xbox. So I think that's the biggest state with MMA is right now is you have Conor McGregor, who's a billionaire. You have John Jones, who's a cokehead. I mean, a world champion. You know, you have all these big names, these big flashy things. And oh, that's what I want to do too. No, you don't. Like, I got a friend of mine. He beat John Jones's ass like when John Jones was 8 because he was in high school. You know, because after that, John Jones beat the fuck out of him. You know, I've had friends who've been around, but they don't. What the fans don't see is this motherfucker's been doing this his entire life. Yeah. Like, you just don't wake up one day and be the greatest MMA fighter in the world. It doesn't happen that way. You know, so I think that's the state of it. Is it's very in line with what you see on Instagram and Facebook with these overnight millionaires. Oh man, you know, look at my Lamborghini. Look at me in my Lamborghini. You fucking your dad. That's on your dad's Amex, right? They only see the flashy shit. They don't see the. I can't tell you how many hours and hours and hours and hours I spent in the room, right? I just not even fucking time. I've been doing it since 8th grade. So
Yeah.
they don't see that. They just see they see me travel. You know, while they see me traveling, they see, oh, Johnny gets to fly out to Bellator. Oh, Johnny is fighting up in fucking Pennsylvania. Oh, he's doing this. Oh, Johnny won, you know, world, whatever. He only started jiu-jitsu fucking, you know, 8 years ago, 6 years ago. No, it's not the case. I've been fucking grappling my entire life. You don't see me at the gym Tuesday and Thursday morning lifting. You know, Thursday is one of my off days, right? You don't see me and Zach getting fucking rounds. We have hours. We have at least an hour, if not 2 hours, recorded of us training off clock time because that's what it takes. I think that's the decline in MMA. You have too many guys saying they're doing MMA and not enough guys actually training MMA. I think that's the biggest disconnect.
Yeah,
I
you
think
see
that's the
the
problem.
yeah, like the people that, I mean, I'm guilty of this now and again, 'cause you've got to take your photos obviously now and again, but it's like you were saying about Instagram and Facebook, is that thing where, well, obviously people are only going to post their best moments, aren't they? They're only going to post the best bits, and that's all you see. All you see is the best bits.
Yeah.
So you think it's that easy? You think, oh, he does it like every few days, I'll do that.
Yeah, and you know, I'm adamant about, and I'm the same way. I'm adamant about talking about the things that nobody talks about. You know, that's why I do my with that. You know, I hate Johnny Buck thing. You know, I do you know, business coaching and personal development and stuff. I'm very adamant about talking about like the things that nobody talks about. Like, you know what? I did fucking get shit faced to sit there with a pistol next to me. I was so fucking depressed. I thought I was a loser because I wasn't fighting. I had no goals, and I was losing my ass in my business. Yeah, I fucking talk about it, right? And a bunch of other terrible personal shit. You know, I talk about that. I'm like, hey, listen, you're gonna fucking wake up and you're gonna hate fucking training. You're gonna be like, this is stupid. Why the fuck am I doing this? Right? Well, you know, I talk about those things because, you know, hey, listen, you know what strength and conditioning I do? I have a strength and conditioning coach. I have a nutritionist, right? You know, I do the things I need to do, but nobody fucking talks about it. I think, and Max Holloway is an interesting example because his buddy, his nutritionist is a friend of mine, Tyler Minton, and he goes, Max is a fucking animal, right? You know, Khabib's a fucking animal. You don't see, DC's a fucking animal. These are all guys that he is clients for, and you don't see the work. You just see the results, man. I think that's a big problem in MMA. And then when MMA guys see what they actually come to 5 days a week training, and they see what it's like, they don't want to do that.
It's
They
weird as well, though. Like, if you're in the gym, I know a lot of people that train MMA, and they'll go in the gym and they'll get beaten up so bad in like sparring by people that are consistently training, and they still don't seem to get it. They still don't seem to understand that's the person you're going to be fighting. You're going to be fighting that person in the cage because the person in the cage is going to be working like them.
Yeah, it should be. Do you guys have Tough Man over there where you can let anybody box? It's fucking amazing.
Tough, maybe. I mean, I don't think so, but maybe.
So anybody can sign up, right? You show up, you sign a waiver. They put headgear and a cut protector on and boxing gloves. They're 1 minute round with 1 minute rest. There's 3 rounds. It's fucking amazing. It's my favorite fighting on earth because it really lets anybody figure out that they're not very good. And we used to send our guys there because we got paid. We get fucking good money. If you won, you get $800, $900. So we sent 2 guys in, and they won both their divisions. One guy knocked 3 out of 4 guys out. I'm like, holy shit, we're gonna go to jail. This is not good. Super athletic, right? And my other guy, he had 12 rounds. He won all 12 rounds. Like it was, you know. And they're novices. They're in the very fucking beginning of training. They train maybe 6 months tops. And you see what 6 months of training can do, right? You know, so it's just funny. Yeah, dude, Google Tough Man. It's fucking amazing. You should watch it. But yeah, it's but that's the reason I think you don't see more MMA fighters, is because like, oh fuck, that sucks.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's very popular right now, right? It's really popular. It's fashionable to be an MMA fighter. And I maintain, and I have been maintaining for a while, it's on the decline. Like, because on the local scene, you can't find local guys. Or they'll sign up for fights and they'll pull out the week of. hey man, I can't come in. I got a high ankle sprain. You're a pussy. That's what you have. So
That's what you have, yeah. I mean,
yeah,
there's talk of it being put into the Olympics. I think that would change it up a little bit. That could give it some sort of light. Obviously, that could go worse. It could glorify it a bit,
yeah,
make it a bit.
I'd be interested to see what happens.
Mm,
Man, I've got a, with the exception of wrestling, because it's points and racing, which is points. I've got a really hard time, like with boxing. I like the judging system. I can't stand it, and like it's quite obvious that there's corruption in the Olympics. Like I forget the last Olympics or two ago. Like they did the calculation. They're working which judges work which matches and stuff.
yeah.
Um, and they're getting bad calls and challenges and shit. I don't know. It may or may not help it. You know, judo made a big adjustment, a while back to stay in the Olympics, and it didn't help grow judo. I don't know. I think it's a big thing is the state of society. Everybody's a fucking pussy. That doesn't help.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Not to go completely off it, like why do you see fucking people shooting each other? Because they're fucking pussies. Like if you and me, like when I was a kid, you and me had a problem. We got in a fucking fight. After that, we were best friends. Like that's what we did. So people they're so afraid, and because of social media, they're so afraid of being like made fun of that they fucking have to go crazy. So on the same side, they're so afraid of being made fun of for losing fighting, they just train and don't fight. Oh man, got an injury. Oh man, my fight got canceled. Oh man, you're full of shit. Like
They get ready for it, but it's that last step. It's that last step.
Yeah, and I get torn between like, hey, that motherfucker shouldn't fight, and I also get torn between, hey, that dude stepped up and did what most people don't. That's kind of cool. I think the problem realistically is the coaches. Like there's too many coaches who don't know what the fuck they're talking about, who are pushing guys to fight, and then they're pushing them too fast to fight. And then maybe they take a fight, now they're 0-1 because they got the fucking shit beat out of them. And then that's going to be the end of their career,
It's a rough start, yeah.
Of somebody who had potential too. Like that's the thing about it. I'm not a huge fan of the different rules. But I think no elbows, no knees to the head, no head kicks in the very beginning are good. I think that's, because what if your first day you get kicked in the fucking face and then shit, you know what? Never mind, it's not for me. I'm not a fan of no ground and pound for your first few fights, but I do like the different levels of rules for sure. But yeah,
it is a good way to get you into it. I do think the no ground and pound is, because I mean, there's only one way you're going to learn ground and pound, and that's by getting hit by ground and pound.
Well, Georgia Athletic Commission here, they Andy Foster was the head of that. Like, and he is phenomenal. Like California paid him a bunch of money to move out there and run their program. But the rules in Georgia were stupid because your first 3 fights, there was no ground and pound. I'm like, well, why? Well, it's going to give people a chance to develop their jiu-jitsu. So no, you develop your jiu-jitsu in jiu-jitsu class. Because if you're sitting there doing arm bars and triangles and shit because no one can hit you in the face, and then all of a sudden, your 4th amateur fight, you get hit in the face, that's going to really change how things are done, I was a significantly better MMA grappler than I was a straight grappler. Why? Because I hit you in the fucking mouth. Like that makes your jiu-jitsu way less effective, So I think that's a interesting factor in some of the rules. And again, the people making the rules never fought, because the sport is so young. We don't have guys on, in the United States, a lot of it's government ran, and the government could fuck up a wet dream. So, we don't have anybody in politics here who also fought MMA, who's in a position where they can make the rules. So I think that's another problem as well.
Yeah, that does make sense. I know what you mean as well. Like jiu-jitsu with the ground and pound included is so different. Like, if you're trying to get someone in a triangle, you can probably knock them out while they're trying to do that in a split second.
Absolutely. And the second you open your feet, I throw a punch. You open your feet, I throw a punch. I think it makes a big difference. And especially in the beginning in jiu-jitsu, I got triangle a ton because I'd hang out what I call no man's land, where your head's like halfway up, halfway down. That's easy armbar triangle combination. And I was bad about getting that because I would sit there and punch you if you tried to open your guard. So it doesn't directly translate at all.
Yeah, definitely. That is an issue. I mean, hopefully some point in the future that can be changed. People within the rule makers can, you know.
Okay, you're good.
Yeah.
My wife
hopefully...
drove by my truck and it connected the Bluetooth to her. I'm like, what the fuck? So
that's pretty funny.
But
yeah, I was saying hopefully they can change at some point, as in rule makers can be educated, and but obviously they'll be educated, but they can't be as educated as someone that's actually done it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody in politics is educated. They're all fucking retarded. But
you should do it. Sign up to it.
And dude, I'm thinking about it. I've been thinking about it for a while. My wife is adamant about, I'll leave you. I'm like, well, think of all the mistresses I can have when I'm in politics. But I've actually always really been entertained by the idea of it. And I'm not saying I won't. I'm definitely not saying I will. I think I have an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
It's especially right now, man. I don't fucking want to get involved with these fucking pedophiles and idiots. It's interesting for sure.
Yeah, just being under that umbrella gives you a bad name, literally. Just if someone doesn't know you, then you get a bad name straight away. Yeah,
always. Yeah, and listen, the things I said, it'd be really easy to twist them. But did you say that? Mel absolutely said that. Yep. But yeah. So yeah, I'll probably just keep. I think honestly that my goal is just to make a bunch of fucking money and just have politicians in my pockets. That's where the power comes from.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. I mean, more in the US than the UK, I think, but
yeah,
it's true.
Dude, what's the UK? What's the England's prime minister's name? Boris some shit.
Boris Johnson. Yeah.
That dude's awesome. He makes fucking Trump look normal, insane, and he almost makes Biden look competent.
What do you mean? Why?
Dude, he's fucking crazy. Get out of here. He's got. You hear me? I declined to call it. He's got crazy hair like Trump did, and then he was rambling about something the other day. I was like, God damn it, motherfucker sounds like Biden with Trump's hair. So
yeah, he goes
yeah.
yeah, no.
It's crazy.
I think it's the same everywhere you go, though. Politicians everywhere you go, they're all the same thing. It's just different characters.
Oh yeah, and we have the Democrats and Republicans here. They're the same fucking thing. There's like the Democrats want one thing, the Republicans want the other, and the thing they want in common is to keep in power and keep us fucked. So I'm like, yeah, we've got that whole Delta variant shit going through, and the fucking news is blowing up. Everybody's fucking terrified, and I'm gonna address to my members. I'm very adamant about this. I will never shut down again. I'm never gonna shut down. I'm not gonna restrict classes. I'm not gonna restrict sizes of classes, and I'm not going to restrict like last time we shut down on paper, we papered the front windows up and everybody came in the back. I'm not doing any of that shit. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm here to stay. I've got I can take the fines. It is what it is. Deal with it. So
see that leads me on to the point I had before about benefits of martial arts. Because I remember you saying last time we spoke about people thanking you for having the gym, like how much help it, during COVID, you're saying people were freaking out, mental health was declining, arguments with people, like probably spouses, all of that. And the gym, gym always solves that. I remember people said thanking you for that. So obviously if you closed it again, those negatives come back into play.
104. And it'll be worse this time because it's like if you imagine getting sick, not COVID, your regular fucking cold. So you get a cold, which it doesn't exist anymore. Everything's COVID, but you get a cold and then you get better for a week or two, and then you get another cold or another round of it. The second one's worse because it's already compounding on the other one. Like, mental health is like suicides are through the fucking roof, obesity is through the roof, and they can be, oh, COVID this, COVID that. Motherfucker, 3,500 people a day die in the United States from being fat. Like let's be honest about that, So yeah, and I'm very adamant. You know, if you want to cancel your membership because you don't agree with me, that's fine. Cancel your membership. Go back in your fucking hole and do nothing. But yeah, the messages I got, even my friend who is on the more like conservative side when it comes to like cautious, not really conservative politically, but cautious side, he's like, dude, we can't fucking do this again. He goes, we can't do it again. He's one of the ones that messaged me, hey man, I wouldn't have got through this life event if it wasn't for the gym. So I'm like, you know what? We're doing what the fuck we're doing. If you don't like it, fight me, and then we'll go there. So, but yeah, I'm not shutting down again. I'm very adamant about that.
I mean, what would the fines be? Is it anything detrimental or?
So no, they have a big mouth, but no bite. A friend of mine, she owns a Rise and Shine Cafe here, and I think it cost her like $8,000. She never shut down. I'm like, fuck you. I was like, I'll never shut down. Like, you can write me many fines as you want. I think as the state of how bad it is, and luckily how big my reach is, if that was fine, I would just let it go fund me and never shut down. Like, realistically, and just do it that way. I've got a couple lawyers.
People would help.
I've got 350 members. Like, you know, and I've got, you know, and I'm smart when the business side is. I put money in savings literally money transfers my savings account every day. So I'm like, yeah, I have a lawyer. I'll do that. I can pay the fines. I will absolutely fight you to the death. I don't give a shit. You know, it's unlike most modern MMA fighters, I'm willing to fight anybody. So
Biden included.
I'll fight the shit out of him. My little fucking 25-pound dog will fuck him up. He's retarded, both of them. So
that's the thing. Another thing I wanted to talk about as well, so that links perfectly, was people, the benefits of martial arts on their own, because we were talking about it, we briefly talked about it in the last talk. We were talking about the upsides of doing combat sport. Obviously, it's such a scary sport, such a painful sport, but it makes you such a different person when you come out the other side.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, you know, whether you believe in evolution or creation or whatever the fuck it is, you know, we've been designed or evolved to overcome things. Like men are conquerors. You know, it is what it is. And not to jump into too much of the crazy political shit. I'm like, yeah, like men, masculine characters. And I don't care if you're fucking male, female, trans, velociraptor, whatever the fuck it is. The human race is designed to conquer. It is. Because if not, you know, from a caveman days, and this is the thing about combat sports and life in general is, like, say you and me were cavemen, which I look much more like one than you do, but, you know, say we're cavemen and we see a fucking woman we want, or we see fucking food that we want, or land, or whatever it is. You and me weren't gonna, hey, first one to race that tree wins. No, they fucking fought. Like, that's what they did. And they conquered the other person. Now, is that the best thing for society? No, probably not. Right. So there is some benefits of being intelligent and amicable with others and building a tribe of people. Right. But, you know, we're designed to fight. We're designed to be physically challenged, emotionally challenged, mentally challenged. And because of how easy life is right now, because how simple life is, like, you're fucking, I don't know how many miles away. We're talking on a little magic device that allows that, right? My wife went to the chiropractor, came back with this little magical coffee juice that makes me feel better. That shit came from probably Colombia, you know? So we have all these things that we can do. Life is so fucking simple right now that we don't have the physical stressors we used to. So we have to create them, which that's one thing I actually like about CrossFit, that and the way the women look. Right. The thing about it is, it's a physical challenge. It's hard, right? We can conquer things. We can make progress. So if you're doing CrossFit, then you can get more, you can lift more weight, or you can run faster, or you can lose weight. So we have measurable things or outcomes that are positive. Then we have the martial arts side. Okay. You know, unless you're in some fucking Taekwondo, Krav Maga bullshit, where you get belts for no goddamn reason other than paying the black belt, right? So jiu-jitsu, where it actually matters, right? As you go on, you get acknowledged. You get, you know, in my gym, we do 2 promotions a year. We do the middle of summer and then the winter. So you don't get promoted very often. And being that we're 10 planet, associated, you only get belts. Like we don't do tips and gold stars and shit. So you get invited to advanced class. So there's different ways to increase your or to get validation, right? And you're constantly battling with somebody. And then you have the tribe aspect. You have your teammates, right? One of the biggest things that people miss across the board from high school, and then luckily, hopefully colleges are good enough athlete, is your teammates. Jiu-jitsu allows you to have teammates into your 80s because you're not forced to retire. You see a lot of guys, their glory days were high school. Man, when I was in high school, I did this. Well, if that's the peak of your fucking life, that's really sad. But it's the truth about a lot of people. And the thing about it is, what did you like most about high school? Hanging out with my boys. Oh, did you play sports? Yeah, I played football, basketball, baseball, whatever. Oh, cool. So you hung out with them all the fucking time and you worked out. Yeah. We can still do that with jiu-jitsu, right? You can still do that with CrossFit, right? It's different because you're not grappling, but I don't count fucking Taekwondo and shit. But, with these type of things, like, yeah, you can still do those things. I think that's one of the huge benefits of continually doing this, tying back into the mental health side, tying back into the physical health side. Like I said, 3,500 people die a day from being fat, heart disease, whatever the fuck you want to say, but it's because you're fat, So I think that's really the biggest. I think that's one of the big benefits of martial arts is it encompasses everything. It encompasses the people you need to be around, your tribe, your community. It can, the fitness aspect, the mental health aspect, back to the caveman thing. If you and me were sitting out, hanging out in the fucking field one day, we see a saber-toothed tiger, we run. So we see a threat, we exercise, and one of us dies or hopefully neither of us die because we outran it, right? So what simulates that now is CrossFit, jiu-jitsu, whatever. Because the thing is, what's our stress now? Taxes, bills.
Yeah, and that's not something you have to do, like bodily wise.
Yeah.
I mean, it like you're saying about humans evolution. Obviously, you need your dangers and your threats. Like we're an adaptive species. So if you have nothing to adapt to, we're just gonna sit stale and do nothing, just waste away. I mean, slowly we're gonna devolve if we don't do anything which has any form of threat to us, because where's the adaptation?
I think the biggest, and this is people are losing their fucking minds and they're completely wrong about this, is right now is the easiest time ever to fucking succeed. Because if you're average, and I mean actual average, not like the American average, but if you're your average person, you do whatever you do the bare minimum, you're doing more than most. Like, I don't know what it's like by you guys. If I drive around here, fucking help wanted signs everywhere. The average person is fucking 2/3 of Americans are overweight or obese. So that would be the vast majority of them. Like, that's the average I don't agree with, like it doesn't take much to be above average. Like, if you look from a grading scale, like if a C was considered average. Well, fuck, dude, show up right now and you get a C. It's really an interesting time. So how do you succeed right now? You show up, you try a little bit every day. You don't eat anything out of a fucking plastic bag, or you eat something out of a plastic bag once a week, and move. Like, just walk around, go outside.
Yeah, it's the American recommended steps a day is 10,000 steps. How many people do you think that actually succeed in doing 10,000 steps?
Almost none, because I didn't know, I got a new phone and it tracked my steps, and I was doing construction, and we were inside of a building, way inside, and at like 10:30 in the morning, my alarm went off. What the fuck's that? I'm like, oh, I hit 10,000 steps today. Holy shit. My ex-girlfriend, she works a desk job. She's an accountant. And because of her nature of her job, she's stuck to a desk. So we bought a treadmill so she could walk, so she could get the exercise. And the she works at a hospital here, which is a fucking shithole. The requirements of what they had her doing was insane. But because of that high time constraint strapped to a desk, she couldn't walk, you know. So we bought her she bought herself a stand-up desk. So she had to sit all day, right? And then because she asked for money, they said no. Then everybody got one. I'm like, well, that sucks. I'd steal one to set it on fire. But yeah, no, man, the average lifestyle is insane, and it comes back to adaptation. I don't follow I don't follow any really strict diet right now, but like the paleo diet, realistically, don't eat junk food. That is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
There's so like I had like this drink right here. I don't know. It's probably 300 calories, but it's delicious. So I don't give a fuck. Leave me alone. But you know, think about how many calories you accidentally consume. You know, I avoid drinking calories. It's a Cubano. It's fucking milk, salt, coffee, and just a little bit of sugar. You know, it's about all the calories I'll drink. So yeah, being average is fucking really easy. To me, it's failing. And average is failing. If you're average, you're failing.
I mean, if you're average, that means you're not doing enough work to be above your average person. Like if you're average, like if you want to, well, you're failing if you want to be something. If you want to be something, then you're failing. If you're happy with just sitting on a desk doing nothing with your life, then average, cool. But if you actually want to be something, like everyone does, everyone wants to be an MMA fighter, and everyone wants to be the next Jeff Bezos. Well, if you're average, how are you going to do that? Nobody cares about you if you're average.
No, I think it's really insane. And I talk about this a lot. I would love, I mean, absolutely fucking love if I could be mentally could handle this and not kill myself. If I could be at your average 9 to 5er, dad bod, decent fucking like just whatever, you know, $61,000, you know, a year income. I wish I could do that. I fucking wish I could be average. It sounds so easy to me.
Yeah.
But every fucking morning, with the exception of Sunday, I am up at 5 a.m. every fucking day. If I'm sick, I'll sleep to 6. You know, so Sunday I get up at 7. So, and then at 9 o'clock I'm doing coaching calls. I'm coaching clients, right? So I would love to be average because that sleeping till 8 sounds amazing. Getting off of work at 5 sounds amazing. I don't fucking know, but my wife thinks I'm insane. She's used to it now. I'm like, if I woke up tomorrow and I was that fucking dude, I would kill myself. I would skin myself alive and fucking kill myself because that looks fucking terrible. Like, you know, and it's about keeping up with the Joneses here, right? It's like your all-American average 2.5. Yeah. And I'm like, fuck the Joneses. You know, I'm making more money than most of them. I work less, you know, air quotes on work less than them. I do whatever I want. I travel. I have savings. I can do what I want because I didn't fall into that trap. And that sounds terrible to me. I couldn't imagine being handcuffed to a desk. It's fucking sounds terrible to me. You know.
I mean, also you obviously you have your manager, but you run yourself in a sense as well, which I mean, that's what everyone, all these entrepreneurs, I mean, there's some fakes, but some of the real ones that give real advice are saying you should never like limit yourself down, like never go underneath someone who will fully restrict you, like to the point where your life is just terrible. Like, you should never do that.
My dad told me at 13 or 14 years old I was unhireable. I'm like, you're right. You're definitely fucking right, because I'm 36 years old. I've had one job that wasn't for family or friends my entire life. I worked at a high-end restaurant, hotel, resort for 5.5 months. I called in sick one morning. I said, hey, I can't come in. I had to be there at 6 a.m. I called him back at 2 o'clock. I said, hey, I'm not ever coming back. And then I chased the dream of owning a gym, you know, and fighting full time. And I did that instead. But, you know, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the MMA fighter. And I think this is across the board. They didn't see the fucking hours and hours and hours of fucking just agony coaching. You know, because after my first gym failed for the lawsuit, I got sued by my business partner. I went to work for a friend of mine. I worked for him for almost 2 years. Now, still fighting. I was like, Mike, I can work for you, yada, yada, yada. I need to be at the gym no later than 5 o'clock every day. And hey, I've got a Bellator fight coming up. I need 3 weeks off. And he would give me that, you know. So that was a situation that occurred that it worked for me because I put myself in that situation. But I worked. We'd leave Asheville, where I live, at 4 a.m, drive to South Carolina, work all fucking day in the sun on the roof in August. I would drive back to North Carolina or Asheville with no AC in the truck, trying to stay hydrated to coach class all by myself for 3 classes that night. Like, yeah, you know what? I do fucking enjoy traveling whenever I want, right? I went to Austin with my wife. I competed, but it was, you know, it was supposed to be a business trip. Shit got rescheduled. I spent almost 10 grand. Why? Because I fucking deserved it. Because I earned that money in 2013. That's why, you know, and people don't see that. And that's across the board, whether it's entrepreneurship, whether it's athleticism or athletes, whatever situation is, that's across the board. Is nobody puts on Instagram the fucking packets of ramen they're eating because that's all they can afford. That's the truth. You know, I think that's something I do really well. I talk about the shit nobody else talks about, but some people do. But I think that's, again, why you're seeing such a shit show rate at MMA. You know, why you're seeing so many businesses fail. You know, it's across the board. People don't want to put the work in, and they want it today. We're in an instant society.
That's what everything is, though, isn't it? Everything is that. I mean, everything you buy, everything you do, like even those YouTube videos that are like abs in 30 days. Like, what do you mean abs in 30 days? You're telling that to like a 200-pound man who's gonna get abs in 30 days. It's
dude, listen, I can get you abs right now. I just need you to send me some PayPal, and I'll be, hey man, you have abs. Thanks. You're just covered in fat. You know, that's
yeah.
That's the truth. Everybody has abs. You're just fat. Yeah. And go back to my buddy Tyler Minton. He put probably the best analogy I've ever heard when it comes to you know, fitness or business or whatever, especially fitness. I like to tie a lot of my stuff to fitness and money because they're easily understood by so many people. You know, for fitness specifically, if you walk a mile into the woods, you have to walk back out a mile. It's not walk in a mile, go back 10 feet. So whatever you did to get overweight, whatever you did to get broke, whatever you did to have a bad relationship, it's going to take you just as much time, if not more, to get back out because you already did it once, right? And I think that's what people really fucking miss is they don't understand, hey, you have to undo everything you fucked, right? I think that's just a big problem that people, they don't realize. You know, they want instant gratification. 7-minute abs, 4-minute abs. It's not a fucking thing.
I know, like, I've seen, I used one of the exercises, I remember, and I was looking through the comments of it, and it's all people like, oh, I have like a fight next week. I have a show, I remember someone like, I have a gymnastics show in a week and I have no abs. I need to get abs. I'm like, you should have thought about that when you first started. That's not something you do now.
Well, it's like, and this is, and the dude just fought in the UFC, Philly Fresh, whatever the fucking name is. He missed weight by like 2.5 pounds. You didn't fucking, you know, and he won, right? You know, but to me, you didn't. You know, you didn't do your job. You didn't do the things that you need to do to make weight. You know, and pro fighters get paid to make weight. That's what it comes down to. Your first step, make weight. That's what you have to do. And I've been a weight managed athlete since I was 8th grade. When I played Little League football, you had to weigh a certain amount, like only a couple times a year. I have never missed weight my entire fucking life. My first cut down to 170, I was 230. I was fat because I was lazy but I made it I lost 60 fucking pounds. And when I got close to weight, we did a body fat analysis, and my lean mass, meaning bones, organs, blood, all that shit, was 191 pounds. I'm like, my coach goes, you know what that means, right? I'm like, yeah, we have to lose muscle. And we did, you know. So because, and this is something I struggled with, because I would let my weight balloon up between fights, I had to do that. I didn't have the discipline to do the things I needed to do. So I was very okay making my life harder than it needed to be. I think that does benefit me now because I've gone through a bunch of shit. But at the time, it burnt me. And with age comes wisdom. But yeah, I think the instant gratification issue is a huge problem. Across in the United States for sure, but across the world.
I mean, like you were saying about the woods thing, you were happy with that. You were happy with walking into the woods and having to make your way back out to fight. But obviously, you can't complain if someone does that. They can't complain because it's them themselves who walked into the woods in the first place, by analogy.
Yeah, there's three things that I'm very adamant about for life success, and it's three things I really harp on in my coaching group, in my gym. Is number one's gratitude, right? Be grateful for whatever the fuck the situation is. I think that's a big one because like, oh man, I'm grateful that this sucks, but no, I'm grateful that I had the fucking opportunity to lose 60 fucking pounds. Why? Because it's gonna make me tougher. And I never hit 230 again during that time, but I took 18 months off, right? Again, my fault. I was grateful for the time off. It allowed me to train and do things I needed to do, right? So just being grateful for finding the positive, because there's always something in there. I'm grateful I weigh 230 because when I weigh in the next day after weighing, it'll be 215. So I'm grateful on that side. The other thing is personal responsibility, right? To an extreme point is if you are 230 pounds, it's because you put fucking food in your mouth, right? That was it. I didn't hire a manager to find me fights. I tried to do it myself. So I took responsibility for that. These are all things that I took, and going back to the gratitude side, I was grateful I had 18 months off because that gave me some time to fucking heal and recover and try and feel better. Those are the two things I'm most adamant about. And then the third one is just doing something. Like fucking take action. What if it's wrong? Well, if you don't throw that punch that may or may not work, you're not going to hit them. If you don't throw that punch, you're definitely not going to fucking hit them. I think that's the biggest thing is the three things is just be grateful. Everything's your fucking responsibility, and then do something. I think those are the three biggest things that can change anybody's life in any field, no matter it's nutrition.
That last one as well.
Yeah.
Sorry. The last one's really good because like you're saying, if you say a punch, you're not going to hit them if you don't throw a punch. So you're going to have to throw it at some point.
Yeah. Yeah. Wayne Gretzky said, you miss every shot you don't take. And I agree with that. That's now from a personal responsibility side, guess what? It's your responsibility to start practicing so you can make more of those shots. It's your responsibility to not eat like a fucking dumpster, right? These are things that really are really neglected, I think, across the board.
See, I remember you saying when we were talking about mental health, you said something about tribes, and it just, you said about teams and tribes, obviously caveman era. And then you said about jiu-jitsu being a cool thing because you can do it at such an old age. I was thinking about like the Gracie family. Imagine how long they've been training together, like their tribe, their group. Obviously, there's newcomers, but imagine how long Royce Gracie and all of their family, how long they've been training together in jiu-jitsu. That's one thing you don't ever have to stop. You can do it infinitely.
Yeah. And this is something like people like, Zach, one of the coaches that works for me now, he's one of my training partners. He goes, what do you like more about jiu-jitsu than wrestling? It's fucking easy. It's more technical. I don't want, there's more techniques. There's more possibilities. I'm not gonna say it's more technical because it's really not. But there's more techniques, there's more possibilities, and there's constantly me and him roll fucking 5 days a week. The rolls are different every single time. Whether I feel good or he feels good, I'm dehydrated, he's dehydrated, whatever the situation is, it's going to be different. So you can constantly get that mental and physical stimulation. But yeah, once you get good at jiu-jitsu, you become very efficient and you can do it forever. Like I wrestled relatively recently. Well, even my last match, I'm sore as fuck. It's been a week. I wrestled a giant. It was Alan Crowder, UFC heavyweight. Dude looks like a fucking NFL linebacker. I'm like, good God. because that's very taxing. So that's what I like about jiu-jitsu. And you can go slow in jiu-jitsu and not kill each other, which in wrestling is not a thing. It's just
What did you say about UFC heavyweight? You said something about UFC heavyweight.
Yeah, Alan Crowder, my last match. He fought in UFC.
Right.
So super awesome, dude.
Yeah. So I didn't hear his name. That's all. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
What I meant by that as well, though, is like the team. That's what I was trying to find, like say mainly is the team side of things. Obviously, if you go into the gym, I remember the first time I entered my kickboxing gym, I walked in and I didn't know anyone. I did a drill with someone. It felt so uncomfortable. But then, a year down the line, you walk in, you know everyone. You know who you want to do pads with. You know everybody. Yeah. You know how everyone works. You know who kicks better, punches better. You know everything, and it's like a second home. And obviously, you're saying about mental health and tribes. It does become a tribe. I mean, all of the people in that gym being consistent. All of the people in that gym are also training themselves to be, combat worthy. So you've got all these other people that are adapting themselves to be able to fight, and you're in a room with a tribe pretty much, and it is something that.
Well, and there's a common vested interest, right? You know, a rising tide lifts all ships. Meaning, if you and me are training partners, and I make you better, that means I have to get better, right?
Yeah.
And this is something that having Zach here, the new coach, is. We roll and we try and fucking destroy each other because that's what we do. Like we're trying to win constantly. And then we film matches or we watch it and I'm like, hey man, right here, this is how you should have beat me. Right? And he's like, hey, make this adjustment, then I won't be able to get out. What are we doing? We're giving ourselves, we're leaving the ego at the door. But what happens realistically is this. As he gets better, I'm forced to get better, right? So when he gets better, I have to get better. So that again, in your tribe, in your gym, in your team, in your community, the better everyone around you gets, the better it is for you, right? And that's and this will circle back into like the political side is I don't want to fucking send Pakistan money. I don't want to send anybody fucking money outside of here. Why? Because if we can take care of this area first, then we can do more, and that's just how I feel about it. I'm like, and it's the same thing with training. I don't withhold anything from my training partners because I want them to get better. Because I want them to go win. Why? Because I want us, the tribe, to win. I like when people from Rogue Combat, my gym, go to other gyms, say, oh, you train at Rogue? Yeah. And they immediately sit down because they know we can wrestle, right? So what do we have to do now? We have to learn how to pass. So these are all things that I'm really adamant about is, having that community, having that tribe, having all those things together to help level each other up.
Yeah. I mean, it's essential, isn't it? I mean, if you're training with someone that doesn't know what they're doing, you're going to be building bad habits. Say you're sparring a guy that's a novice, you probably don't need to keep your hands up that much because you can keep them back anyway. But then as soon as you go against someone good and you've got that bad habit of doing this, you're going to get clocked.
Yeah. One of the guys I'm kicking out of advanced Muay Thai tonight is because every time I pick a new partner, he always picks the easiest round.
Yeah.
And he'll showboat with his hands down. So if he comes tonight, and I hope he listens to this, if he comes tonight, I'm picking his 3 rounds. And he's going to get his ass beat for 3 fucking rounds. So, but yeah,
I guess he'll know who he is if he watches this.
Yeah. Well, but it's right because, by picking the easy rounds, right? Or by doing the easy things, then we're not pushing ourselves, right? If I'm not better, I can't elevate you, right? And if I can't elevate you, then you and me are gonna be the same fucking shitty stagnant pond for the rest of our lives. It's really difficult, and it's something that I get on my guys about. I'm like, stop being a shitty fucking partner. Like if you're just laying there like fucking starfish and they're passing your guard, you're not letting them get better, and you're not getting better because now your guard retention is non-existent. Now you don't understand what you're doing, and now your teammate thinks that he can just pass guard like shit and pass guard. That's not the case. I think it's really, I think it's really important. And again, this talks about not being average. You need to get better so I can get better, and I can gotta get better so you can get better. I think that's something that really spans, again, every fucking industry.
It's even drilling though. Even in the drilling, say you're drilling a guard pass. If the person is like, okay, this is the drill, I'll let you pass the guard. Then what's the point of the drill? Because it's not that simple. I mean, obviously
No.
you can fix that into your sparring, into your rolling. You've learned how to pass, so you can try, but it's not that simple. Even in drills are there for a reason. The drills aren't meant to be easy. It's meant to be
No.
that specific technique, but not easy.
No. Me and when I go down to BMAX, Brandon McCaffrey, my coach down at Decatur, he does, and I hate it, but I love it too. He does 6-minute rounds, right? So start in half guard. All right, person on top, your job is to pass. Person on bottom, your job is not to let them pass. If I don't let you pass for 6 minutes, that is great. If you pass me 50 times, that is great, right? So it's situational sparring. There's really only one objective, right? If I just let you pass my guard 50 times, then you're not getting anything out of it, and I'm not either. You know, it needs to be a fight. So I'm adamant about drilling. I'm in the gym. Drillers make killers. Like if you drill hard, you drill technically well, you drill smart, then you're absolutely going to kill the game, right? But if you drill like shit and you're lazy and stuff, like that'll get you yelled at especially in jiu-jitsu, that'll get you yelled at and kicked out of advanced class faster than anything, is being a shitty partner. I think I just can't stand it.
It brings everyone down.
It absolutely does. You know, it's the in wrestling in college specifically, you see all Americans and national champions in pairs. You'll see 125 and 133 because they're pushing each other constantly. They're constantly doing well. They're always trying to improve each other. So you'll see pairs of these guys because they're training partners. Because as you get better, I get better, and vice versa. It's really important that we have that training. I think Lachlan Giles is the best breakdown of how to drill situational sparring. Is like I have his body lock pass DVD, right? So or instructional. So you start in a body lock pass, DVD for the History Channel people. So you start in a body lock pass, and you get the half guard, and you do this and this. And what happens is, if I keep getting fucked up at step one, then we drill step one over and over. All right, now I'm getting good at step one. I'm getting caught in step three. Okay, so light until we get to step two. All right, don't let me complete step three. Where you just work on that one piece. I think that's super underrated as well when it comes to drilling. Again, that makes everyone better.
Definitely. I mean, that's the thing with jiu-jitsu. If you mess up one single bit of the move, say an armbar, right? If you can't go get the arm, how are you going to armbar them? If you can't push your hips up, then you're not going to armbar them. You can hold the arm all you want, but it's not going to armbar them. You need to get every single step perfect. So that's the probably the annoying thing for beginners in jiu-jitsu is you have to get all these bits perfect, but that's how it is.
Yeah, it's definitely true too, because and again, it goes back to being honest with yourself, right? That personal responsibility. Where am I fucking up? Oh man, I just can't pass guard because he's stronger than me. No, you can't pass guard because your fucking hip control sucks. No, you can't pass guard because you don't have any elbow discipline. No, you can't pass guard because of whatever the reason is. And I think that's, again, that ties to everything in life. Why can I not fucking lose weight? Because I'm eating like a dumpster. Why can I not do X, Y, and Z? Because you're not doing the things you need to do. I think that's the personal responsibility thing that, again, goes across. Is just look at yourself. Where are you fucking up? Okay, fix that.
The thing you said about the dude getting kicked out the advanced Muay Thai. I remember when I used to do that as well. I will admit I used to do the exact same thing when I first started kickboxing. I remember, I think it was MMA sparring actually, and I'd always pick the people that I'd done drills with, and I knew I could outstrike them, out wrestle them. But then I remember I then had to. You couldn't match with the same person. I had to go against someone else, and I had to go against the coaches, and obviously the coaches just messed me up. And that really, I remember getting kicked in the ribs, and I was slightly winded. I could have carried on, but I went, oh, I'm winded, give me a sec. Oh, and that is the worst mistake I ever made, because the next time I went, I picked the coaches to spar every time, and afterwards you feel like you've learned so much fighting the advanced people. If you don't do that, how are you going to learn? Honestly, I remember that's the worst mistake I made when I first went, was sparring the people I knew would be easy fights.
Yeah. The time for all of that too. Like when it comes to that aspect, you know, this is something that this is what allowed me to level up a bunch. Being the best guy in the room was like putting myself in bad positions.
Yeah.
You know, now there's a difference between somebody putting you in bad position and you being put in one, or you just putting yourself in there. But it allows you to get that training in, that hard training, that good training that you need to do to just, you know, again, you have to let the ego go. You know, you have to be. And like my wife has probably some of the best back control in the gym. Like it is. She's a little shit though. So people just straight muscle fuck out of everything. But if and she calls me out on it too. If I just let her, if I don't try and muscle her, she's going to beat me a lot. I'm like, fuck. So that's how I get better at jiu-jitsu. Is I take that beating. You know, it's really important. I think people need to kind of wrap all of that together. Across all aspects.
Yeah, definitely. It's something people need to learn.
For sure. Connect. All right, fixed it again. So
cool.
But
how long do you have?
Yeah, man. So about another minute or two.
Oh, that's cool.
I lost track of time.
Yeah, I'll clip all those bits anyway. But how's your house going? I remember we spoke last time. You said about your new house.
Oh,
you've frozen, bro. You've frozen up.
And then we moved like a couple boxes down. Then we stayed in one of the resorts here for a couple of days. And then we still haven't fucking moved in. We still have shit at the other house, but we're trying.
Still haven't?
No.
But we're not moving stuff last time. Last time we spoke,
I'm still moving stuff. Yeah. The girl who lives in my old house works for me. So I'm like, hey, I'll just keep paying some of your bills until I get it out. So
that's fair enough. I mean, you do you.
Yeah, it's cheaper in a storage unit. So one day I'll get my life together.
I mean, the gym's your home after all, anyway.
Pretty much, yeah. And I'm trying to buy another house for a rental house right now for 3 of my coaches. Like, fuck, dude. One day I'll calm down. I'll be dead. She goes, no, you won't.